Hi, everyone. Welcome back.
Hello, everybody.
We're your hosts, Noah and Caesar. How's your week going so far, Caesar?
Busy, hot, but cool. I
Mm,
mean, it's good to keep busy, right? So,
yeah, through the heat,
Mhm.
especially. It's been like getting really hot everywhere.
Yeah, but let's not talk about bad things. Let's talk about good things, right? So, yeah.
So on Tuesday, we had Isabel with us, and she shared all about YVA and some of her tips on how to handle claims more efficiently. If you guys didn't catch that, that's on our Facebook. You can go watch the full thing. And if you have any questions, reach out to us. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. Caesar, how'd you feel about that show? I wanted to
Oh,
get your
it was
input.
very interesting for me. For me, Isabel, when I met Isabel, I was just like, rookie. I only had like what I had like a month
Mm,
working for the company. So meeting her and meeting the whole team was really cool because it's like, okay, so here's where the knowledge is coming from.
mm-hmm.
Here's where the experience is coming from. And like I said, people were actually looking for Isabel, and asking her questions and yes, joking around and networking, right?
Right.
And by the way, I do have to mention that today is her work anniversary
Oh,
here
yeah.
at YVA Bulldog Adjusters. So, Isabel, if you're watching, congratulations and thank you so much for the hard work that you do every single day. So,
Yes, we
it was
love
a
you.
great show. Hmm.
Yeah, it was a really great show. And you were new to the industry also when you came in to
Oh,
work
yeah,
here?
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely,
Um,
definitely. And
yeah.
it was
She's
amazing
a
lifestyle.
huge help because she helped me when I first came too. So but today we're gonna talk about what we're gonna talk about today now. So we're gonna be joined by Cam Wade, and he's a part of the industry. He's been a part of the industry for many years now. He actually started off as a roofer, and he later ventured into public adjusting. So we're going to be talking about our new sister company with him called Large Loss Adjuster, and they're a company that they're ready to take care of all your large loss claims and help you navigate the process with ease. So we're very excited to learn more about them and what they're bringing to this industry. Cam, hi, how are you?
Hey, Cam. Hey, welcome, Cam.
Hey guys, how are y'all
Thanks
doing?
for joining us.
I'm doing
Thanks
fine,
for
man.
having me.
Thanks so much. Excited to have you here.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. This is awesome.
Great. So, Cam, thanks so much again for being here. And we know you have a very busy schedule, so we very much appreciate it. Right now, you're at home. Where are you located, Cam?
I'm about an hour outside of Fort Worth. I live on the
Mm,
Brazos River, so yeah, home is paradise, right on the water.
Hmm.
nice. Though I'm not gonna ask about the weather because yeah, that's taboo here right now. So let's not talk about it. Okay.
Yeah,
So Cam, let's start from the beginning with you. We want to learn more about you. You already told us where you're from, right? Where you're at right now. But here's the most important question: how did you get into the industry? How did you start?
wow. Well, that's a loaded question because honestly, it started with my dad. He owned his own business in the '80s, on all the way into the early 2000s. Um,
What'd he
a
do?
business called he had a company called Miracle Maintenance. He was an
Mm.
HVAC professional that could do roofs, that could do build outs, interior, exterior. So that was my introduction into the world of construction and rehabilitation with homes, both commercial properties as well. Um, and then it led to roofing. My first job was carrying shingles up and down a ladder, and then graduated, of course, to holding the nails while on the roof, and then sliding shingles down to the installer. And then eventually I got to become the installer, swinging a hammer back in those days. I think I was 14, 15 years old.
Hmm.
And then I got into insurance restoration, being a roofing sales guy back with 13 years ago. And that's what led me to here. Had a really great experience, ups and downs, and really what brought me over to becoming a public adjuster is all of the challenges that really just like every year seem to pile up, and it just seemed to be unfair advantage against the policyholder as well as the contractor, which I was. So I made the jump so I could have a little bit more muscle behind me when I'm fighting the insurance and really have the opportunity to help a lot of people.
Because you know the other end, right?
Yeah, it's a emotional challenge, especially today when it a lot of the times it just feels like it's possible evil that's running these insurance companies, the way they treat people, from the policyholder to the contractor, when they're just trying to get what's right done. It's within the policy. They wrote it and they just like to ignore it. So it's kind of a mission of mine to, let's go take on big Goliath. And, we need more people like us to do it.
Agree.
Yeah.
Agree. And well, yeah, this is a really interesting thing that we heard, right? So you as a roofer, we heard that you like to walk barefoot on roofs,
Yeah.
right? That's what we heard. So how did this happen?
I actually learned it from a friend of mine when walking on TPO roofs or PVC roofs. It's really a fun and easy way to find the hell hits, the dimples in the ISO board. So it's a really good tool. I have socks on, mind you, and I kind of just glide across and you can feel the dimples. And that's where sometimes you want to zone in, possibly get the contractor to make a cut. So that way we can see, is the ISO board been structurally damaged? Has it been penetrated? Is there a break? Because now, we have, the fire jumping capabilities, as well as water penetration. There's a lot of things that go into that. So yeah, I do it, and I dirty a lot of socks. So
at least you wear socks.
Yeah.
But
when you do it, what's the reaction that you get from people? Like, what are you doing, dude? I mean, do you get something like that, or what is the reaction that you get?
Yeah, contractors that haven't worked with me before, they get a chuckle and they're like, "What the heck are you doing?" Like, so I start taking off my shoes, and I'm like, "Just watch." Like, "Take yours off. Here, I'll show you." Like, "What? No, I ain't." I'm like, "Come on, take your shoes off, and we'll, kind of do it together and just glide around like we're two ice skaters." And they're like, "Oh, okay, I see. I feel that. I'm like, "Okay, now let's cut that open."
You probably changed his life that day.
He's
probably doing that all the time.
I get people that send me pictures of their dirty socks, thanking me, because it is a tool that they use now, that they can go back and utilize to help them identify damage faster.
True. Yeah.
Nice. And don't mind the hole in the sock, but okay, not a problem, right? Yeah. And how did you? Now let's move on to this really cool thing. I mean, right now, and we mentioned it. Noah mentioned it in her post. I mentioned it also. YLLA, a large loss adjuster, which is our new sister company. Okay, and we are very, very excited about that, and that's something that we wanted to discuss with you. So, how did you become a part of YLLA?
Well, I think it's about a year or so ago. Aaron and Vince and myself, we all met for the first time. I think we were doing the Win the Storm walkthrough of the building to kind of see what the layout was, and then having meetings of ideas of moving forward. But that's where I think we started playing football together. I brought some footballs and Nerf guns and stuff because there was a lot of sitting around and waiting. It's a gigantic place that you're walking across. I mean, you're walking miles in a day. So we're just having fun and goofing off and just asking questions, more about what they do and how they do it.
You won them over right there with the water guns.
Yeah. It was a blast. It was a blast, and I just really liked them and liked what they were saying. It felt like they had a lot of the pain points in thought, what contractors are going through, what policyholders are going through, and they're creating it themselves. That they own it. It's their own technology. It's their own processes, and it really intrigued me because it just felt, right. Like, why is everyone not doing this? And I understand other PA firms and other, maybe contracting companies don't have the resources. It takes a lot of resources, both financially and manpower, which of course all equals money, and technology to build something like this. And it takes time. And that's one thing. It's just, I think, part of human nature. We're very impatient today's age. we want the quick fix, So developing something like this over a course of a couple years, it takes time, it takes patience, and a lot of people probably, may not believe what they have going on, but it all came to fruition. Everything they told me that they were doing, they did. And so when the opportunity came about, where I'm at and the type of person I am, I know I'm like many of you out there that are ADHD, that, my attention span is measured in nanoseconds sometimes. So to be able to offer a solution at the touch of your hands using an app is just incredible, that a human doesn't always have to be there. Where everyone hasn't completely dove in and adopted technology completely. So I really felt like we offered a solution with one package deal with a great team. And so I couldn't be more happy and just really honored to be a part of the team and a part of this change that has taken place. I like it.
Great. And what about YLLA? What can you tell us about your large loss adjuster? What is it? What are you going to be doing?
Well, so my biggest job is getting connected with my contractors and helping them vet claims first and foremost. Is this something that should be claimed? Because against many probably contractors' thought process, everything is not a claim. There's many things that go in to verifying that, hey, we actually need to call the insurance on this. There may be damage there, but if it's from a storm that's 4 years old, what are we talking about? Or if they don't have the coverage within their policy, what are we talking about?
Right. You were telling us yesterday too how it's important to have a good date of loss.
Yeah, have the three basics, which I think is a big challenge for some. But it's a good policy, a good date of loss, and is there damage? It's really easy when you just do the same thing, the little thing consistently. And our process, our technology we're using the same technology and just adapting it to a bigger loss, more dynamic loss. So you're like with your virtual adjuster with the app, you get to easily scope loss. You can keep track of all your referrals, receive weekly claim updates. You're going to get notified of payments. All that stuff still exists with your large loss adjuster. So it's pretty exciting, because that is one of the largest pain points contractors have when it comes to working with a PA firm, and that's communication. I think that's the same problem that the policyholder has with a contractor as well as with a PA firm. So I'm really excited that we just basically get to steal the tools that you all have already been using with the your virtual adjuster platform, and we're just making it bigger and better. And I think we're going to have another release here in the next, I believe, week, that a lot of other tools you'll be able to just quickly check the status of where everything is at. You look like a rock star when you have all those questions answered right here. You don't even have to call me or call your personal assistant. Each contractor is going to be able to have their own client success representative that is reaching out to them, whatever works best for them. Are you easily more reachable via text, phone, or email? We find that out, and that's how we hit you every 10 days, or whenever there is an update, whenever there is a conversation that's taken place, they're getting that update.
Right. We're constantly making updates to it too, to the app, just making it better for people. But back to YLLA, what qualifies as a commercial claim for you guys?
Well, I believe a commercial claim, for one, is basically any property, real estate, that is owned by an entity, an LLC, a holding company. So that can make it a lot more complex and different from just your one or two person residential homeowner. There could be multiple people that are part ownership of this LLC. So there's a lot more people to get approval. Getting policies together, can be a big challenge. So commercial has a lot more dynamic movement your normal home can.
And what's the difference dealing with residential and commercial, but with the insurance company? Other than just, I know that there's a lot more going on.
A lot of it, the policies they're a lot crazier. There's a lot more to go into it. There's surplus lines of, companies that aren't even licensed in the state, but yet they still, sell policies, and maybe they don't play by the rules of that state statute of limitations and whatnot. So that can be a challenge, really digging in when you're dealing with large machinery. They have different policies that cover all of those boilers and mechanisms. So there's just a lot more moving parts, as well as, when you come into medical schools, it can get really, really complicated, really dynamic, really fast.
And what exactly is going to be, or is your role right now?
So contractors reach out to me when they have either a challenge that they're facing with a claim, or if they know, hey, I just stumbled upon, I got a really great referral, I just, locked the deal down, but I want you guys to start it. I know it's going to be a battle. I don't even want to mess with that. I don't have the time or the patience for it. So attack it from A to Z. And so that is a process that I help with vetting, with getting all of the policies together, reading through those, and again, making sure that it's a good policy that we can move forward with and be successful in winning. So yeah, I had a brain fart right there.
Yeah, don't we all? But hey, by the way, I do have to mention, guys, we're watching. If you have a question for Cam, go ahead, enter it right here. We're gonna get that question. Cam is gonna be able to answer. Okay. And something that I was thinking, I as an onboarding manager, you have to tell the contractor for YBA, okay, well, the time frame might be this, time frame might be that, it might take 30, 60, 90 days. It depends on many things, right? What about for a large loss? What is the approximate time frame, that you can expect when dealing with this type of claim?
That is a loaded question again too. I wish I had that answer. I've seen $5 million roof claims get opened and closed and settled within 3 months. But then I've also seen them to where the carrier plays their carrier games and does the whole adjuster revolving door that they do, assign a new adjuster. Oh, that adjuster doesn't work with us anymore. They use all of their ability to drag their feet. It can go a year, so it just depends. And that's why it's so important to have the squeaky wheel on your side. And that's what our system allows. It allows us to do all the heavy lifting. We're the squeaky wheel. We have all the automation in place that once that claim is filed, once that letter of representation is sent, it's already automated of when the follow-up is going to be, when the statute of limitation, they've had 14 days to respond, or to, all of that is taken into account. So it's so important to gather, all the right documentation, get over abundance amount of pictures on the first visit. And that's one thing I talk with contractors every day and really stress the importance. Your gas is like $5 a gallon in some places. It's crazy, right? Why
it is here.
Yeah, and I don't care if it's a residential home or a commercial $5 million loss. Your first visit, you should be absorbing and taking in as much data as possible on that first visit. You want to eliminate all the go backs. Do it on your first visit. That's probably one of the biggest challenges I see that contractors put on themselves, is they just don't do the work on the first trip. And it's so important. It's so vital. So that way, everyone involved, we can build a very comprehensive proof of loss and turn in something that is not questionable. Whether the insurance wants to use a moral compass or not, that's just up to them, and that's how we'll adapt to that. But again, we have the technology, we have the people, we have the processes and SOPs in place that are followed consistently, and that's what makes the biggest deal especially with commercial claims, is being that squeaky wheel, knowing your rights, knowing your policyholders' rights, and just nonstop being relentless. And not just being relentless, but saying and sending the right message with the right tone. It doesn't help to get emotional. You know, for us, and what I see, it's black and white. You know, here's the policy, here's the law, like black
as
and
it
white.
should, which is hard for people to live by with certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're done with that,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's probably a whole different podcast or live stream, but it's in the unfortunate human condition when you get to that much money, that much control. It is what it is, and we just have to fight the good fight and utilize what we have available. We have some smart brains out there that have made it so easy by creating all of this technology, these apps, these processes. We take letters and information from whether it's a Steve Patrick or anyone else that's out there that's done it before. We're using everything that's out there. Everyone wants to talk about, think outside the box, think outside the box. It's like, well, we have our box. We know what's working. And then we pull the stuff from outside our environment that we like, and we add it and make it our own. And it's fun. It's interesting. And it's pretty exciting to be a part of that change to where now, not just with residential, but with large loss commercial properties, a contractor can take that heavy load. It is staggering the emotional impact dealing with an insurance carrier as a contractor when you're worried about cash flow and you're stuck hours and hours behind a desk computer writing responses when you should be out there either training your guys to be better salesmen, better reps, or just out there closing and networking and doing the things that are actually a lot more fun in this industry, and just let us do the work. Put it in our little machine, and we're going to spit out something that is unique to us. Our reports are, bar none, they're ours. You can't go buy them. So
there you go. And I think that you answered Ahmad's question here on screen, right? With all that. So, I mean, it is exciting, right? It says I missed it. What excites you the most about this type of claims? And I think that you already expressed that. It is exciting. I think that when you know that you're going to do something right for, in this case, for the contractor, right? That you're gonna fight. Let's call it fight air bunnies, right? But you're gonna fight the insurance company. So that's actually something that I wanted to ask you, Cam. So the experience of a contractor, a residential contractor, is, yeah, the insurance company tries to delay everything. They try to make it very difficult, right? Very, very difficult. So much so that there was a video like 3-4 weeks ago about this adjuster on a roof. They were discussing about how to do a brittle test, and it became very famous. What about an adjuster from an insurance company with a large loss, so a commercial claim? Do they react the same way? Is it the same thing, or is there a difference?
Usually I have found in my experience a difference. Usually when you're dealing with much larger losses, they're not sending out Mr. Joe Blow that, a lot of the adjusters now that are out. When I first started, I'm going to circle back to this. When I first started out as a contractor, the adjuster that came there for the carrier actually knew what they were doing and were allowed to do their job. They could write checks right then and there in their van, $20,000 and below. Anything above that, usually they'd have to get their desk adjuster approval. So it made it really easy. But now they literally trained the adjusters poorly, undertrained them, and are systematically telling them how to just ignore the facts that are at hand until someone grabs their head pretty much and holds their nose to it. But usually with a large loss, they're sending a pretty smart guy. Usually, sometimes they send a complete idiot, but usually it's someone that knows what they're doing. It's an EGA. You're talking about a $5 million claim. They want to make sure they're getting it right most of the time. But to circle back to what that gentleman was asking, what excites me the most about these big claims, big commercial claims, is most people think, oh, it's the money, the larger ticket, and that's not necessarily it. Yeah, that can be exciting, but if handled poorly, it doesn't matter if it, ends up going, you're into legal for 2 years. It's a pain in the butt. But the biggest thing is those large buildings employ so many people. So many people are affected by a building if it has to get shut down, if they have to redo a roof. It's a lot. When you have a commercial property that just leaks nonstop, it's nasty, and the carrier is just not doing the right thing. So it affects a lot of people. And it's usually a residential roofer that has just gotten into commercial, that's starting to grow, and they're really excited that, oh my God, they went from selling your average, $15,000, $20,000 roof, whatever it may be, to now they're really swinging for the fences. And I love to see those victories, to see that contractor just glow with excitement like this. Yes, that dream of mine can happen. It's happening. I'm living it, and the hard work is paying off. And that's probably one of the biggest kicks is, if you talk with any contractor that I work with, now our relationships, we want each other to be successful so badly. And we just cheer each other along, because I'm still a contractor at heart. Seeing those victories that have a ripple effect and affect so many people, that's, I think, what life is all about. So I love my job, and I love swinging for the fences with people.
Mm-hmm.
You like to win.
Oh yeah. I love
There
that.
you go. Everybody love that. Cool. Okay. Now, what about through your experience? Okay, what do you think contractors struggle with the most day to day? When it comes to a commercial plane.
Well, it's a lot. Having the resources again available. Usually, or not usually, but a lot of times, the head honcho, the owner, has most of the knowledge. And if they have a new sales team that are stumble upon these commercial projects, the things that I do see that make them possibly lose them is not knowing that conversation is, depending on your state, it's a lot different than just a residential. They end up losing the job because they can show how inexperienced they are by what they say or what they don't say. So I think trying to go too big without having the resources and or the education can be a hindrance, a big one. So I think a good idea is partnering with someone who's been there and done that. Take a piece of the pie and learn and grow. There's folks out there, like Roofers Helping Roofers, Jonathan Sherwood. They do a great job of giving that education and walking, a contractor through that growth. So I think that's really exciting and special, and needs to be done more. And again, on that first visit, get as much information as you can. You should already be asking, let's get those policies, because we have no idea what you have or don't have, going on here. Are you underinsured? Do you have exclusions, RCV, ACV? Let's figure this out. And with commercial properties, the policies, they can be, again, dynamic. They can turn into ACV after X amount of years, depending on what type of product is up there. So getting as much information on the first visit is one of the biggest, I think, shortfalls contractors, sell themselves short on, thinking they're doing the work when in reality they're really not. I see that a lot. There's a lot of bad, lazy information being pulled together. 5 pictures and a deck page, if that,
Right.
and they're 4 months into a claim, and you've got 4 or 5 pictures, and you wonder why you can't get it to the next step. And now we're talking and gonna get kind of fussy with me because I need you to go get pictures. I'm not just gonna fly somewhere when I don't know if that's real damage. I have to, use some senses and share the information with my team as well, with the rest of us, so we can get eyes on and make a educated decision of moving forward or moving in a different direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have to know that they have to prove it to people. They can't just be like, no, I see the damage and that's it. That's how.
Yeah. Because one day, if you prepare every one of your files as if with the thought in mind, I learned this from someone else, this isn't my original thought, that a 12-person panel of people are going to be weighing in on this one day. If it does go to legal and go to litigation, you need to be preparing that as if it's actual evidence, and you have to, present that information very Barney Fife. Those 12 people that are going to be sitting there aren't going to know everything that we know. They're not going to know that jargon, that language. They want arrows, they want colors, they want graphics, they want detail. Make it as easy as possible, as if you're telling a story to a 6-year-old, that when they get done telling that story, anyone from grade 5 and up can know, oh yeah, that's damage, and that's within the policy limits, policy terms. Let's give these people some money.
And do you guys also create, because we have our comprehensive claims package here, do you guys also work with an estimate like that?
Yeah, we sure do. In fact, again, we're just piggybacking and instilling the technology that YVA is already using and just enhancing it, because again, there's a lot more that goes into these commercial claims, not just line items, but you can actually start creating a comprehensive scope right then and there, like, with the app. But there's still going to be, with YVA, a contractor can get a letter of representation sent out to the policyholder by just, putting in, the basic information. And with your large loss adjuster, you're still going to be able to input all the information, but there's still going to be a level of approval before a letter of representation even gets sent out. I may have to come and inspect it myself or someone else in the team, but we do have contractors that we work with that put together some of the best files ever, that they wouldn't need us if it weren't for the insurance just being complete jerks. Like, they put that good of arguments together. All their documentation is just awesome. But, and you can see, like, all their other files just move like they flow. So again, just preparation. Some of the contractors, when they send us something, we're like, we can roll with all this data that we have right here and we can start fighting. Other time we have to get out there. We have to be there with the core samples are being cut, get all that documentation with boots on ground.
And something, that's something that I was going to ask you, because in YVA, we don't go out, definitely. I mean, we rely on what the contractor does, what the contractor sends, the scoping tools. But in your case, what you're saying is that you don't have to go out every single time, but you're going to do it frequently, right?
Yes, for sure. And as we grow with a contractor partnership, once they start utilizing the app, which of course is free, once they start using it more and start trusting in the system, instead of just giving us one-offs, there's contractors now that are just giving us everything, to see that, freedom is time, having time and not having that emotional impact. So being able to coach a contractor to a point to where we trust them, that when they send us a file, we have enough information that we can go ahead and fire off the letter of representation and start representing the policyholder. But more times than not, right now, it's going to be boots on ground, me flying or driving, getting out there and taking a look at it.
Cool. So that's something that I wanted to ask, because the contractors in YVA, they ask, okay, are you going to come out? And no, dude, we're virtual, like we rely on you. But in this case with YLLA, yes, there is a need sometimes, depending on the contractor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to ask you a little bit more about tech. What do you think the future is going to be with technology with YLA? Because I know you guys are implementing it obviously right now.
Well, I don't know what I'm quite allowed to disclose quite yet, because I know we're partnering with some really great tech.
What's your hopes then for technology for it? Maybe that's better worded.
That's different.
So yeah, that is. So where maybe, drone footage using LiDAR, thermal imaging, that technology is available via a partnership that's available to a contractor, that again, we want to eventually move it, because there's so many claims, whether it's residential or large loss. There's just too many. There's not enough public adjusters out there as it is, and there's not enough good public adjusters out there that have the systems that are required to be consistent and have, shorter just like a contractor wants to close that sales cycle, you want it to shorten. Same thing with the claim cycle. We want to get to a resolution, indemnification in a shorter time period. And so with technology going, it's using the data that's provided via all this technology, looking at all the analytics, what messaging is actually working, what subject lines working, which reports are working and getting to a shorter resolution time span. That life cycle, again, we just want to make that as quick as possible. And again, that just takes paying attention to the data. And we have all the funnels that absorb all that data, and we can make those data-driven decisions and adapt and change and grow. And that's what very exciting. Technology is just going to make it easier and more streamlined to handle more quantity, just more volume with more consistent positive outcomes.
And what are some, I guess, industry tools that you use now that you like a lot?
Of course, thermal imagery, anything that sees through walls is really cool. That moisture meters, drone technology. We're using it all. Everything that's available to us, we're using it right now.
Which one is your favorite though to use?
I think Mad Report is something I personally don't use, but our other adjusters that are in the field do use is the Mad Report, where it's basically, if you've seen a 360 walkthrough of a house, you can do that with a loss. Go through and annotate everywhere to where an adjuster can see in virtual reality where everything is, and it really again paints that picture and makes it very Barney-fied. It makes it to where even an illiterate person can understand, oh, this is what's happening here. So it's a really great way, really cool technology. I like it.
Very cool.
Nice. Okay, so Cam, everything that you have mentioned today, I mean, we really appreciate it. And I think that for those that joined us today, I think that they are going to find it interesting, informative, and hopefully you guys are going to reach out to Cam, if you're going to work on a commercial claim. And yes, he's going to be able to help you out. So, Cam, to wrap it up, we're going to move on to a really nice little thing that we got, that is the 5 questions, random questions. Okay, so you're totally free of answering whatever you want. A big question, big answers, small answer, yes, no, or what do you care? I don't know. Okay, so we got to start with the first one. And I think that this is going to be a very obvious one.
Yes.
Still, I want to ask it. So, do you prefer to work in an office or in the field?
That's a tough one. It really is. I love the field. I love the field because I get to meet so many different people on a daily basis, whether it's a property owner, the maintenance tech that's coming out to let us into a ladder, the people that work inside the buildings. I love just adventure, and I love climbing. I love camping and hiking and stuff. So to be able to climb stuff, and what you're going to find, I find stuff on flat roofs that's crazy. I mean, you never know what you're going to find, from bullets to mannequin heads to crazy animals. I've got some weird stuff happens on flat roofs, I got to tell you. But then I love, getting to visit in the office there in Florida the other day was a really cool experience. It's something that I definitely do miss about working in an office every day, and that's the company culture and the team, and just having your friends that you enjoy and you just rap with every day. It's a lot of fun, and that office, everyone's having a good time, even when it's
That's
not every day.
You've seen those videos that Noah has uploaded.
We have a very good dynamic here.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
So I think I get to enjoy both sides of that world now. I'm gonna definitely come and spend a good month or so there. We got a lot of things working on that we're growing. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. It's gonna be really neat.
Okay, cool. I'll definitely get you in those videos more. So our next question is, what makes you smile the most?
Other than the automatic answer is my children, but That's a given. I would say just random acts of kindness out in the world that I see every day. I actually was just commenting on a post somewhere on Facebook about this exact thing. You know, I don't watch news because that's just what, you know, a side of story people want you to hear. There is a lot of really beautiful things happening in this world every day. Awesome kindness. I love seeing that randomly throughout my day. It just makes me chuckle, makes me smile, and makes me happy to be alive. So that's definitely it.
Nice. And what about the opposite? What makes you feel very, very annoyed? Like, yeah, I want to kick your butt. Annoyed.
Insurance companies.
Other than insurance companies.
Traffic, you know, of course, all the other things that we all complain about is, you know, stupid drivers. And then the next day I go and do the same thing. So, just, you know,
yeah, but you got to do it. I mean, you cannot avoid it, right? Yeah. Traffic is there. You got to deal with it.
Yeah, Dallas-Fort Worth is crazy.
I heard. Yeah. I mean, we were there, but it wasn't too bad. Maybe it was at the time, but and what's your favorite food?
That's another tough one. Of course, I'm half Latino, so I love some good Tex-Mex, some good authentic Mexican food. Carne guisada is my favorite dish on the planet. But I love seafood and I love Italian. I'll pretty much eat anything. Really.
I was just gonna say.
I love, and that's one thing you'll probably learn about me is I love fine food. I can really cook. I can throw down. I'll throw down for you guys soon. But I also love really crappy cafeteria food. I love it.
Yeah.
Like when
from diners.
Yeah, like chicken fried steak, the ham. Like literally, when my son was in elementary, I made it a point to go to school at least 3 days a week and have lunch with him. And they knew to double up because I love the crappy hamburgers, the chicken nuggets, the pizza. I love it all. So
just
you got the lunch lady doing this and then cooking, right? So yeah.
Oh, they always hooked me up. Always hooked me up.
So you see, the other day we had a really nice guest that she said that she didn't like pizza. So when you said Italian food, Isabel. So good.
Isabel says she doesn't like pizza.
Yes.
No, I didn't mention anything.
Oh my God. I was really, you know, I think she's so smart and so funny and I really like her, but that's weird. I'm going to have to talk to her.
I didn't mention her name, by the way, but okay. So you're assuming here. But anyway, not. And here, let's go with the last.
It's an interesting cough, Caesar.
You know, the cold weather. But anyway. This is the last one, and this one is actually really cool. And we modified it a little bit because we saw that, it's kind of difficult to give your perception. I mean, depending on the person. So can you describe for you the roofing industry in 5 words or less?
Wow.
It's the same reaction we get every time.
Yeah,
and we made it easier.
Say, it can be stereotypical. But fierce is another word. Growth, opportunity.
Those are good. Yeah. Choose one. If you gave us all, like, what do you think? I mean, it really is everything. Growth.
It's a career, a lifestyle. It's special to itself. That's for sure. It's very. It
don't realize it.
Yeah, it attracts a bunch of different people.
Yeah, it really is its own world.
It's interesting. That's what it's
interesting.
It's very interesting.
And never changing. You know.
Oh yeah.
I mean, since I got here in this industry a year and a half ago, right now things are different than when I started. I mean, it's totally different. So it's ever changing. But you know something, the cool thing is, and this is what I think, me having seen what I've seen on Facebook and maybe going to a few events, is that the people who are good or who do a great job, they are there, they are innovating, they are, you know, getting a lot of attention. And yes, a lot of people do follow. So in your case, go ahead.
There's a lot of people that really, really care about what they do in this industry, and it's a craft. And it's something that that's why you see a lot of times the same people at a lot of these different shows. They're always fine tuning their craft and learning more and understanding that they're not the smartest person, nor do they want to be in the room, but they want to surround themselves with a lot smarter people. There's so many good professionals in our industry that I've learned from, that I aspire to be more like. So yeah, you find a lot of deep love rooted. That's why it took me forever. Like, there's some ups and downs. You go through some big ups and downs in the industry, and sometimes you want to quit. I know I did, and I didn't want to, and I almost did, but I didn't want to waste the love and all the experience. And that's why, I do what I do now, because I get to help everyone now, the contractor and the policyholder and myself. This is how I live and grow and feed the fam. So I love it. I love this industry.
And that's the reason why we're so excited to have you and to have YLLA. We're excited to see how it's going to grow, what you guys are going to be doing. So Cam, thank you so much for being here. Now, if one of the viewers want to reach out to you, what should they do? Do you have a phone number, your email address? What is it?
I say they should go through, YLLA. Click on one of the links on either our Facebook page and let it just go through the system. Again, we're very system oriented, or you can call me. My number is 682-412-7216. Answer any questions. I'll walk you through the onboarding as well. Again, the app is free. I can onboard you, show you how to use it, and start rocking and rolling, right away. And it's really cool. So yeah.
There you go. Because it's the same concept for those of you out there. It's the same concept. You get a public adjuster, you focus on your business, you make it grow, while we take care of everything else. Okay, right. So Cam, thank you so much. It was so great to have you here. We wish you the best of luck with YLLA. We know that it's gonna be just great, and hopefully you can join us again. One day that you're not that busy. But because you got more and more information, so definitely we appreciate you being here.
Thanks, Cam.
Hey, appreciate you guys. Good talking to y'all. Y'all take care.
Thank you. Yeah. Great.
That was awesome. He's a character. He's great.
He's got to do great. And the thing that I was saying is, you can identify the people that actually want to push, to make a difference in this industry. And Cam, I saw Cam several times on Facebook, but obviously right now, since we're working in the same parent company, it's very exciting to have him with us. And I think that we're lucky. And also the contractors that are going to be dealing with him are going to be pretty lucky because of his experience, but also the motivation and the fact he likes to win. That's something very important.
Passionate about it, makes you want to work with people like that. Exactly. Keep people like that on your side. But yeah, Cesar, do you want to add anything else before we say goodbye?
Just pizza's good. No, I'm just kidding.
Pizza is good.
Yeah, it is. Oh my God, she's gonna hit us.
Yeah, but I know.
No, guys, for those of you again out there, if you guys have questions, even though you didn't catch the video live, send us your questions. If you have a specific question for Cam, you can also send the question here. Okay, he's gonna reach out to you. From YVA, we're gonna reach out to you as well, answer those questions, partner with us, make your company grow. Okay, and we're gonna deal with the insurance company. And hey, let us help you. But in the meantime, Noah, you go ahead and say the farewell.
We're going to wrap up now, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. We will be back next Tuesday at 1 p.m., same time as usual. So keep going and killing it every single day, and have a great weekend, everyone.
See you on Tuesday.